Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week and a trading week for that matter. Right, we're gonna look at a few of the trades that we looked at last week. We spoke about the pound pairs. Just as a start on the outset, I need to mention the trades that we spoke about last week that I said were almost guaranteed. They did not play out as yet. We are going to look at it. They have made some interesting structures that we're going to look at tonight. So the trade of the week tonight or this morning will be, or for the next week, will be pound New Zealand. So we're going to look at pound New Zealand, and basically the pound pairs are looking very interesting this week. So let's have a look at those when we start with the analysis. So stay glued. If you were looking for those trades that we looked at last week, they have not played out as yet. They had not confirmed, but they've made now interesting structures that we can now look for a trade and entry in the next coming week. Very interesting. So stay glued, keep watching. Pound pairs are looking very interesting. All right, so before we get started, if you are only interested in specific pairs, Harry has been doing a great work for us in doing these timestamps for me. Thank you very much, Harry. So if you're watching these videos and you're only interested in specific pairs, let me just take this back again. If you go to the description of any of my videos, you will find that there are timestamps. So that means each and every pair that we're going to discuss here tonight, I don't know why I keep saying tonight. It's morning on my side, but it could be the evening in other parts of the world, but that's fine. Right, so if you're always looking for a specific pair, you click on the Show More tab. This is the tab that you click on, and when on the drop down, you will find all the links to the pairs that we're going to discuss this morning. So if you see there, if I click there, I know what this is coming up. If you click there, it will give you a drop down. First, it will give you my contact details. That is my email address, my mobile contact number. You'll find it there. My Telegram channel. There is nothing on my Telegram channel. I got a number of inquiries, people asking me what the Telegram channel is and what's about that. There is nothing there except for the links for the webinars. You'll find the links for the webinars. This is where the Telegram channel is. So there is no setups there. Okay, if there's going to be any setup that I post, I will post it on TradingView, which also I'm not very active. So most of the analysis that you will find is on these videos. This is where you'll find the analysis. All right, so talking about contacts, if you are interested in joining our course, send me an email or a WhatsApp text or a Telegram text, whichever one is more convenient for you, and you will get the details about the course. So our next course, I think I've got a poster here on Telegram. Let's just have a look here. Our next course is going to be on the 8th of April. It's going to be on the 8th of April. So if you look at it, I've got a poster here on my Telegram channel. You'll see the picture. This was when I was, let's have a look here. It's not loading. Let's get this off here. Let's just have a look here. Looks like it's getting stuck. So there is a poster on my Telegram channel, or there's my picture there. This was when I was still young and handsome. Now I'm just handsome. So you'll see the details about the course. That will be the advanced online course will be on the 8th to the 18th April. It's a 2 weeks online course. So for more details on that, send me an email. You will find details such as timing, price of the course, as well as the content of the course. All right, there's also a course that we're going to be hosting in Sandton in Johannesburg, South Africa, on the 6th to the 7th April. It's a 2-day course. It's mainly for beginners. All right, so as far as the online course is concerned, this is for advanced traders, people that have been trading for a while that are not necessarily consistent or not making profit at all. So I have had people that with over 10 years experience attending this course and found it valuable. And there are still people, there was something that was amazing. There are people that have been trading for a long time that do not know how to use this Fibonacci extension tool. And if you've been trading Elliott Wave without understanding the Fibonacci theory and understanding this simple tool correctly, this tool here, it means that you have not been trading right for all those years. So You cannot say that you've got 10 years experience if you've been doing it wrong. So your experience could be equivalent to 0 if you have not been doing it the right way. So our slogan or takeoff line is learn the right way. You need to do it the right way. So the right way is actually the simple way. Make it simple for yourself. That's why you see these videos are very simple and easy to understand, even if you're a beginner. But the course is intended for somebody who has been trading. So if you don't know anything about Forex, you've just come across this video, so the course is not necessarily for you. It's for experienced traders. Right, so that's how you can benefit. So the timestamps are there for each and every pair. You just click on any pair that you're interested in, and it will take you straight to the analysis for that specific pair. Those are the contact details there. So this will be available as soon as the video is edited. All right, so let's get started with the analysis today. As usual, we're going to start with the cryptocurrencies. I'm going to switch off here. So let's make this Bitcoin analysis very simple. Okay, so I'm looking at the daily chart. What have I been looking at since the beginning of 2018, January 2018 last year? Why have I been showing those structures? So let's make it simple first before we get into the details. So what we have here, we had this pulsing move here that ended towards the end of 2017, and from 2018 we have been correcting. Let's make this a little bit thicker. Now we have started. This is Bitcoin. We had a pulsing move that ended towards the end of 2018, beginning at end of 2017, beginning 2018. Right, so from there it has been a corrective structure. Now this is how the correction has started. We had a retracting move here in 3 waves. We had a pullback in 3 waves. What we have there afterwards, I'll show you now. I want to try and use a different color. Let's use a different color. We'll use blue this time, this kind of blue. Same blue actually. And a pullback there, and a move there. This is what we are looking for now. Okay, we're looking for this to do this, and we're looking for this to do that. Okay, let me do this. Let me use different colors for these ones. I will use, let's use the pink just for interest sake. So that is the pullback in 3 waves. That is the move that we are looking for after the upwards move. Okay, and after that, what are we looking for? We are then looking for the original move in yellow. See how simple this is? I think this is as simple as it gets. Now what you have there, I'm going to do this in freehand sketch now, just to show the boundaries of the corrective structure that we're looking for. What I'm focusing here is a possible running flat. It does not have to be a running flat. It can be an expanding flat as well. So what you have there is a simple, let's label this in pink because this is a pink degree, WXY. Simple 3-wave structure, and then we go. This structure is actually like this. This is your pink structure. The whole X degree is a pink structure. Okay, so if you wanted to go into the internals, this is how this one will look. Now you're going to have ABC now. Don't ask me what the difference is between ABC and WXY. That is something that we cannot discuss here. It's a whole module that we look at, we discuss, we cover in the course, the difference between WXY and ABC. All right, so that is your ABC. So I'm not going to put in the C just to avoid the clutter. Right, so this is as simple as it gets. So now what are we looking for? So we are going to look here because this downwards move, has it ended? Has this one ended, or is still going to continue to the downside? This is what we're going to need to look at here. Are we still going to get this one before we get the blue to the upside? Now this is where we are. We need to see if we're going to get that blue to the upside. That will come possibly to retest the previous high here or anywhere around this, but we will see when this is reversing for the last move to the downside. So please note, make note that these are not this is not up to scale. That's why you can see that this has gone past 0. That is not the case. This is not up to scale. I'm just showing you the annotation without the Fibonacci levels. Okay, so I'm not expecting this to go below 0. That is impossible. So I'm just showing you the annotation, what the structure will look like. So this can actually be ending here. Just if you need to be strict with this, it could be ending somewhere around that level. Okay, not necessarily below 0. So that is how simple Bitcoin will look now. Now let us go into the details now of the lower time frame round about here to see if we're going to have that continuation to the downside. Let's have a look now. 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the 4-hour. What are we getting? Now there's something interesting in the structure. There is an inverse of the fractal that has happened here. So if you remember here, now you're going to tell me that I'll keep talking about the same thing. Now I have to talk about this one because something that is exactly the same as this is now playing out here. All right, so let's have a look what happened here. I'll switch off here. So we looked at this in the beginning of the year. We found this corrective structure, we dropped. We found this corrective structure the second week, we dropped. We found this corrective structure here, we dropped. So you can see that every time we get this corrective structure, we drop. Okay, every time we get the corrective structure, we drop. Every time we get the corrective structure, we drop. It happened 4 times. Okay, so here was the last one. We got the corrective structure and we dropped for the last one, and then we pushed higher as we had expected for this to come and retest the top. Right, so after pushing higher there, we had what looks like a 3-wave move. Okay, now we had a drop here. What is happening now? If you see what is happening now, you're getting exactly the same thing that was happening here, but the inverse. So you see here, you get a corrective structure, you push higher. You get a corrective structure, what happens? You push higher. What is happening now? You got another corrective structure, you're pushing higher. What are you expecting to happen here eventually? You're expecting this to give you this move. Sorry, not that move. I'll show you now here. This is the move that happened after all those corrective structures. You got this move. Now you're getting the same thing, This will possibly retest here and drop here again. Now dropping there again will mean that you may have a structure like this and then this. This will now be a whole corrective structure here. 1, 2, 3. Now if you have to do this, it will be something like this. Let's do it cleanly. 1, 2, 3. Last move to the downside, and then the push to the upside, as I've shown you in the higher degree. Let's clean this up a little bit and show you what we're expecting. So this is long-term focus. For now, this is the possibility. Okay, this can be making this structure here. I need to let me identify the structures with the blue color. Let's get the eraser out, clean it up a bit. So the structure, let's show them in there. So Elliott Wave is all about pattern recognition. You're playing with the patterns. This is like a puzzle. Okay, so let's have a look there. So they've got one there. This should actually be a different color. Let's use green there to make it simple. 1, 2. Let's have a look here. We've got 1 there, 2 there, and then there. So that is your structure. 1, 2, 3. Show you now. That is your green degree. This will be your red, like that. So your red is this one. Your red is this one. Okay, so this will be your ABC structure in yellow. A, I need to do it in yellow. A, B, and your C. Okay, so this is the structure that you're looking for. You're looking for this drop to complete this structure. This 1, 2, 3 here. You're looking for this drop. But that drop may only happen, let me clear everything, after this one has pushed up here and possibly retested the top here. So that's what we could be expecting from there. Let's have a look and see how this one plays out. So that is Bitcoin. The rest of the cryptocurrencies will be following a similar structure. So we can see here on Bitcoin, we're still expecting maybe a possible push to the upside. Okay, let's see what you get here on Litecoin. Let's have a look at Litecoin. Litecoin is slightly different. So I'm looking at Litecoin and it keeps pushing higher and higher, but it looks like it's making a wedge towards the end here. We're going to have one more up here and then a drop. That drop may not be the reversal, it can just be a corrective structure. So let's have a look. So the next move that we'll be expecting is a little bit of a push higher, the same one as what you're going to get on Bitcoin before we get any pullback in that structure, because it's making 1, 2, 3, right? So if I just show you the daily on Litecoin, same way I've shown you Bitcoin, this is what Litecoin looks like. So Litecoin is a lot simpler than Bitcoin because you've got something like this. You've got that big move up until 2018 that all the cryptos had, and you have the corrective structure I'm going to show in blue. 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for this one to the upside. So we're looking for this. Now the question is whether this current structure has ended and now we're starting with this move. It does not look so. It looks like this blue move has not ended because we've got this continuation move to the downside that can still do this before we get this. Same way with Bitcoin. We're still looking for this corrective structure that will give us one more down before we get up to the upside. So there is a possibility that this can actually start from here if it's making a leading diagonal, but that we'll figure out and we'll be able to see if it starts happening like that. Okay, but for now we are looking at it like this. For now, what you could get, because you've got a three-wave move up, three-wave pullback, and a three-wave move up, you could be getting a pullback like this, and another three-wave move, and another move, last one to the downside before we go. Okay, so that is Litecoin. Ethereum. So Ethereum has got an exact move that looks like a Bitcoin. So it's exact structure as Bitcoin. I'm looking only now on the lower time frame on the 4 hour. So you can see the structure that we're looking at on Bitcoin. So this is what you have. You can see that it's also pushing up higher in those corrective structures. We had these corrective structures in Bitcoin in this fashion, right? We had a pulse and then it started dropping with these corrective structures that we identified from the beginning of the year, and then it pushed up to go and retest the top as we had forecasted from the beginning of the year. Now after that, it made this pulsing move to the downside. What is it doing now? It is making 1, 2, 3. It is making another corrective structure. So the possibility is that it makes another 1, 2, 3 before we get that drop to the downside. This one may not retest the top the same as we're expecting Bitcoin, but it can drop from here. And that will be the structure that you're looking at here. So the structure that you will look at here now will look something like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's have a look if this is how this is going to play. So what am I looking for? 1, 2, 3. Sorry, let's do this. 1. Use a different color. 1, 2, 3. So there's a possibility it does this. One more up here, and then we come down the same way we're expecting with Bitcoin. I see there's something on the chat box. Let me read it out here. Can you look on 2 hour chart on XRP, please? For me, nothing makes sense. Sorry, guys. Sorry, we don't really have time to go into the detail here. We're doing an overview. For more details, that's what we do in the group. Unfortunately, I only have 1.5 hours here. All right, so this is Ethereum, and this is what you're going to be looking at. Maybe a bit of a push higher before we drop. Okay. So that is Ethereum. Let's look at XRP. XRP is looking rather complex since it started this move to the upside. Now, if you look at the other cryptocurrencies, there is correlation here, definitely, but you need to look at also the correlation coefficient. It's not just it's not a blanket approach that pairs that have got the same base pairs or the same quoted pairs will do exactly the same. Sometimes they don't do exactly as you expect for their correlation. All right, so that depends on the strength of the correlation at that specific period. It is all relative. Now, if we look at Ethereum, let's just go back up to the higher time frame. Okay. Now, somebody asked me if I teach degree time cycles in the course. No, I do not. What we look at is rather the degrees, the sizes of the patterns. That gives you an indication of the time it will take for that pattern to play out. Now, if you look at Ethereum, we've been looking at this structure like this and expecting that we're going to have 1, 2, and a push up here and the similar structure. Now, if we look at this, these 2 degrees are now different. So we can no longer look at this as a W, X, Y, X, Z, because this X and this X are no longer going to be the same, because that X is no longer ending there. It is actually going to be something like this. So we have to look at a different structure here. So we're going to watch it and see how it plays out. What I'm going to look at here now, so this is what could be happening. Now, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, right? Now let's have a look there. What is happening? So we expected that we're going to have W, X, Y, X, Z. Now, instead of getting W, X, Y, X, Z, it looks like you're getting a higher degree X. A higher degree X. What do I mean by that? Let's have a look here. Let's clean it up here. You've got W, X, Y. Instead of getting another X here, you're getting rather a higher degree. Let's do this in a different color. 1. Now you can see that this is a much higher degree, so which means this could be the correction for the whole swing. Okay, so now the challenge here with this is that you were supposed to get something like this. Supposed to get something like this to the downside, but now here is your 0. You don't expect the structure to go below there. Okay, so What we need to do now is just to watch. Oh, so this structure would have been something like this. Let's see what it would have been. It would have been a higher degree W here. 1, 2, 3 W red. Let me use not that annotation. Let's get the right annotation. It would have been a higher degree 1, 2, 3 W to the downside, X and the Y. But you cannot have this structure because this is the 0. Okay, so what are we going to expect? We're going to wait for this structure to play out first. Let's wait for this structure to play out first. And this is where this is going to go. This is going to push up higher with a big impulse, similar to what you had here. Similar to what you had here. So let's see how this one is going to play out. A retest of this low here. I need to make it visible and clear for you. Switch on here. If this retests this bottom blue line here, so there's a possibility that this does this first, gives you the structure, and does this. So it can still go sideways for a while. But if it touches this low here, expect a similar impulse as this one. After that impulse, you'll expect one last down before we go up, same as what you have on Bitcoin. You can see that this structure will be exactly the same as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is the structure that you're going to have. Okay, so let's see how this plays out, then we'll adjust. For now, the next immediate move, you are looking for this one. So you've got here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down, and then you're going to have this push to the upside. You can see that this is a 1, 2, 3 structure. Let's show this one here. Pulsing move, 1, 2, 3, that is your B, and that is your move, and that will be a structure in blue, and then you'll expect the last move in red, and then up. Okay, so this should come with divergence. This low here should come with divergence on the RSI, and then we'll be expecting that big move to the upside on all the cryptocurrencies. Okay, so let's wait for these structures to happen. Now, what you're going to be waiting for is just for this to touch here. Okay, but first to make this structure 1, 2, 3, down, up, down, and then we go. That's the structure. That's what you're going to be looking at on the cryptos. Right, well, I think I've explained that in detail enough for the purposes of this video. You should be able to follow this using your own strategy and monitor it. Now, let's look at the indices. If we look at the indices, let's look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, we're still looking for it to push higher to the all-time highs. I see there's something on the chat box. Let's have a read at it. Okay, now let's look at the indices. I will look on the daily and I will switch this off. What has happened since that forecast to the upside for the all-time high? So we had 1, we had 2, we had this, and this we're looking as a wave 4 here in this degree here, and we're expecting a wave 5. Okay, so we had the move here, and then this is the structure, the expanding flat that we looked at here. Right, so now what has happened is you've made a 5-wave move to the upside. I'm going to show this in the 4-hour. I think in the 4-hour you'll see that 5-wave structure that I'm going to show now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now it looks like this is now making a running flat here, and we're going to make another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means let's rather show this in the 4-hour so it can be clear. So I'm just going to be looking at this current swing here. Let's look at that swing. So this is what this looks like now. It looks like you've got a running flat here. Got a running flat there. What has happened here is that you've got a pulsing move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Could this now be a 1, a 2, and you're looking for another 3, 4, and a 5? I think I've shown this with annotation. Let's make this clear. Why should this be like this? Because you're looking for this last leg here. You're looking for this last leg. So this could be a running flat here, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to be looking to go to a wave 3 and a 4 and a 5. Okay, breaking this all-time highs here. The all-time highs that happened in September last year. Okay, so let's have a look and see how this plays out. So any corrective structure here should be an opportunity for an entry. Okay, we've made a pulsing move, 1, 2. Are we going to go for a 3, 4, and a 5 to complete this structure? Let's have a look and see how that plays out. This is on the 4-hour. For now, it looks like we're getting a pullback. This could be the new This could be a new wave 1 here for the wave 3. Okay, that is your wave 3 there. Let's see a break above the structure. A break above that structure will be taking us up. Okay, let's keep an eye and monitor that one. All right, so that is S&P 500. The Dow should have a similar structure. You can see the Dow has got a similar structure. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it's not the 3 is not there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and that expanding flat, similar to what you have in the S&P 500. And now it looks like we are getting. So we're getting this one as an expanding flat. Let's have a look at this. Either this is an expanding flat, or the top can actually be here. Okay, let's look at the second alternative here. So the top could actually be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're starting with the corrective structure here. 1, 2, 3. Now the corrective structure is the one that can be tricky because anything can happen. So look at the first one that I've drafted here. And the second one, if you look at the different color, I hope you can follow this. The second one could be a move here, a move there. You can see there's a corrective structure there, a retest of the top, and coming down here. But you can see that even if this does not retest the low first and goes and tests the top first, the corrective structure will end at the same position. Okay, this is still going to be a regular flat. This can still be a regular flat, and both can still push higher. Okay, so it does not matter which alternative you have here, whether it is the blue or it is the red. Okay, this is why having a second alternative sometimes does not really matter. You just need to watch the corrective structure play out, because in any case you don't trade within the corrective structure. You trade after the corrective structure. So this is what you're going to be waiting for, whichever way this plays out. All right, so that is the Dow. Now looking at the Nasdaq. Let's look at the this is the Nikkei. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Now looking at the Nasdaq, we've got that pullback. You can see that it's the same structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Expanding flat. So the running flat in this case. The running flat in this case. So a second. And we may have started another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because here you've got 1, you've got 2, and then we're going to be looking for a 3. So this is going to be 1, this is going to be a 2, and then we're looking for a 3 there. So the pullback here could just be a lower degree wave 1 here. Let's have a look and see how this one plays out. There's a pullback. I do not think that is a reversal. It may just do this and then keep pushing higher. Okay, so that is the Nasdaq. Let's have a look at the rest. Looking at the UK 100. UK 100 has also made a 5-wave structure, clear 5-wave structure here. And this is the structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now there's a pullback. Are we looking for something like this? Now remember, this corrective structure that should come here, it should be correcting the whole move. So you can have it playing out a number of ways. So it doesn't matter which way it plays out. So when it is done, you're going to be looking for it to push higher. So you've got 1. Let's switch off here. You've got 1, 2. Why do I keep selecting that annotation? 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now you just need to wait for this corrective structure to play out. Whether it's going to make a WXY move here, I think I'm drawing it too. So whether it's going to make something like this here and a pullback, or it comes back up and retests the top, this is a regular flat, doesn't matter. So all you're going to wait for is for the structure to play out. You've got a move, you need to get a corrective structure. When the corrective structure is done, then that's when you get onto the trade. Aggressive trader and short-term traders may want to take advantage of the short moves here, and this is a risky move because the trend is still up. Right, so that is the UK 100. If we look now on the Nikkei, before we do the DAX, Nikkei is slightly different to the rest because it has gone up in 3 waves. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what we would expect is that this pullback on the Nikkei may be something like this, and the red, and then we're gonna get another 3-way move to the upside. This gives you now a WXY. You can see the others are going in 5 waves impulse. This one is going in 3 waves. Okay, so now if you look at the lower degree here on this corrective structure, you've got 1, you've got 2 here. This can do this first. so this can actually, the blue correction may not go and retest there. It can go straight down there, but they will both end at the same place as I've shown you with the previous one. So both of them, you're just waiting for the corrective structure to play out, and you get on the trade when it plays out and it gives you an impulse and a correction in the lower degree to get involved there. That is the Nikkei. UK 100, I think, did we look at the UK 100? Let's have a look here. Oh yes, we just looked at the UK 100. Now lastly, not lastly, the DAX. DAX also is going in 3 waves, and this is not a XX right now. It is an ABC structure. 1, 2, 3. You can see there's 5 waves on this side, 3 waves on this side, and 5 waves. So it's got an ABC structure. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're getting the pullback here. This could do this, and you see, you indicate something like this. When the corrective structure is same as the other ones, when the corrective structure is played out, same as the others, you'll push to the upside. That is the DAX. Nifty, we spoke about it getting into the blue box last week. We have got into that blue box. You saw that that blue box was constructed. We are now right into the blue box. Are we going to get a reaction, a pullback now from the Nifty? So that's what we're expecting from the Nifty. Same as we're expecting from the other indices, just a bit of a pullback and a push to the upside. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. You've got a 1, 2, 3 waves up. You need to get a pullback in 3 waves as well for it to continue with a move to the upside. That is the Nifty. All right, so that's it with the cryptos and the indices. Now let's look at the majors, the US dollar pairs. We'll start with the Euro US dollar and the DXY. Let's look at Euro US dollar. Very interesting on the Euro US dollar. We'll start with the daily, so you can show the structure that we're looking at. So last week, before we show the structure here, so last week it was the 17th when we did the webinar. We were around here. We expected this to push up higher. Okay, so I actually wanted it to come and retest the top here. Okay, so now what is the structure that why did I want it to test the top? It was because I looked at the structure 1, 2, 3, and I looked at this one as a 1, 2, 3 with a running flat in the middle there, with almost a zigzag in the middle there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I expected that it was going to make. I give you 2 scenarios, whether this is going to make a W. Let's do the labeling could have been a W, X, Y, or it could have been an ABC, depending on the way that this is playing out. Now, this has now played out in a way that if this is going to retest the top there, that would be a WXY move, because it is not an impulsive move. It is a 3, 3, 3 structure. Couple of people send me inboxes asking me why am I showing a 3-3 regular flat. So that is something that we discuss in the course, and I cannot respond to all the inboxes with all the questions, unfortunately, guys. Right, so what are we looking at? See, somebody's annotating on my screen. Let me just disable that. Okay, done. All right, so now what are we looking at here? We've got a 3-wave move up here. It looks like it has pulled back. Is there a possibility for this to go and retest the top? There's a possibility that it can do that, but you need to wait for what you're going to get. So what if it does not go and retest the top and we continue to the downside? This way you need to understand both alternatives and anticipate both scenarios. Now let's look in the 4-hour and see what to expect. Now if you look in the 4-hour, remember the structure is still, this is still the whole structure that we're looking at. We're still looking at this 1, 2, right? Looking for this. Now, what are we looking at here? We've got this as a clear 3-wave structure. Last week, we looked at this as a running flat, okay, as a 1, 2, 3. Now, the possibility, if that one continues to go down, is that the running flat could actually be this whole structure. I hope you can see the difference. And now you get this as a 1, as a 2, as a 3. Has your structure changed? Your structure would not have changed one bit, and you will still expect that this will go with this yellow degree here to go and retest the top. So there's a possibility. So what you're going to wait for, what you're going to see in the next coming session is, if you get a corrective structure here, then the current move, the current alternative will play out, where you have this as a 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if you don't get a corrective structure here and you start getting an impulsive move from here, that means the alternative that we discussed last week, which is this one, being the running flat. I hope you can see the difference. See pattern recognition. This one will be playing out now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So impulse to the upside, you are looking for a corrective structure to enter to go and retest the top. Correction from current levels, you're looking for it to play out as a running flat, the whole move here, and then you come down and retest the low here. So that is how simple it is to follow these both alternatives. Okay, so the DXY will be similar, but just the inverse of what is currently happening. But the DXY is more convincing for upside. Okay, let's have a look here. So on the DXY, it's the same structure, it's just the inverse 1, 2, 3. And then we looked at, last week we looked at this as a running flat. Now we didn't like this much as a running flat last week because of this impulsive nature of this. That is why possibly it is not playing out as such. Now this is what we would have expected. We would have expected this to do this. Now it is unlikely that we're going to get this down move. The same way it is unlikely that we're going to get that upside on the euro. Okay, so what are we expecting? We're going to expect continuation to the upside from there. And if it is continuation, that means this, we've got 1, 2, 3 there. You've got 1, you've got 2. That is your 3 as a running flat. And then upside. That will make this structure a running flat here in red. See, it is very easy to follow this if you understand these patterns. Okay? And then we're going to look for this one to pass down and then go. Same way you're going to expect the euro to pulse up and then continue with the move to the upside. Remember, this is all a corrective structure for this move daily. What is happening now, what we're focusing now is a corrective structure for the move that started right at the bottom. Okay? And after this corrective structure is done, this should continue to the upside. See? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then we've got this corrective structure that we are busy focusing here. Okay, so now let's see if we're going to get a push to the upside. Okay, same way on the euro, just to show the higher degree. Also, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're looking at this as a corrective structure. And then when this corrective structure is done, you're expecting a move to the downside. So we are busy focusing this corrective structure. This is not necessarily what we trade. We wait until this corrective structure is done, but we can take advantage of the short moves that we can, short immediate moves that we can see from there. Right, so that is Euro, US dollar, and the DXY. Let's look at Euro CAD. Euro CAD is also starting to be a little bit interesting. We were looking for this to do this 1, 2, and a 3. Okay, we had a bit of a drop here. We thought it was going. It didn't. So this is the possibility now. If you look at the labeling here, this is how we adjust. So let me remove all this clutter so it does not get confusing. I'm just going to show the structure here. We're looking at this as a WX, Y, X, Z. Now I'll show you the adjustment just now. This is similar to what we had on pound Audi. Now here's the adjustment. Now if you look at this, we had this as a W. We've got 1, 2, 3 up there, 1, 2, 3, X, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up as Y, 1, 2, 3 as a X. And then we expected that we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 swing sequence W, X, Y, X, Z here. And this was supposed to be our Z. Now here is the adjustment. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me remove the original one here. Okay, that's what we have now. Now here's the adjustment. Instead of getting this as the Z could have made a structure like this. One. Let's just show this one here. We've got to move up. This could be the corrective structure. And then there will be the Z. The Z in yellow will be shown with this. That will be the Z. Now, if we look in the lower degrees, you've got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 11 swing sequence here. Here you've got WXYXZ. Let's do this one. You've got 1, 2, 3 up there. Here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's not a pulsing wave. It is WXYXZ. Here you've got 1, 2, 3. 1 clear, 2, 3. Here you had also W, X, Y, X, Z. So here you could be getting this move up, correction, and a move up. And your Z, instead of being there, could be here. Okay, and this is the structure. Now I'm gonna do oil as I'm gonna do oil together with this because there's a correlation between this and oil. Let's have a look at oil and see what the structure could be. Now another alternative here is that this is not necessarily an 11 swing sequence, but rather a simple three-wave structure. Let's have a look here. A simple three-wave structure like this. And this one makes much more sense than any other that we've looked at so far on this pair. You look at this one here, you've got 1, 2, 3 up. Clear? 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back. Now you're looking for this one to make another 1, 2, 3 up. Okay? You may not even get this. This can also be it can just keep going like this and make a structure like that. Either way, you should end up at a Z, and that will complete this three-wave structure. See how simple this will be if this one plays out. Now we will be looking at this one, simple three waves, and then a drop from there, which is this structure. Okay, now let's look at oil. Oil is also still pushing a little bit higher. So let me bring oil to the side here, make two screens, and we look at oil at the same time. Now let's look at WTI. I'll look at WTI. Okay, let's bring oil on the right-hand side. So we can compare these two. Let's look at WTI here. Now, if you look at WTI, let's show the labelings. I'm looking at this. Look on the left-hand side. I hope it is clear. Okay, so the right-hand side, I've not made the adjustments as I've just shown now. I still have to make those adjustments. So what you're gonna see on oil is that you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a correction here, expanding flat. Now, what are we expecting? I'm expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why would I expect it like this? Because you've got an A here, you need to have a C that ends in 5 waves. So still a bit, even if it's pulling back, you're still expecting oil to push a little bit higher. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. So if oil starts pulling back here, this one will be pushing a little bit higher here. And when oil starts pulling back down here, when oil starts pushing up with this one here, let's clear it so it can be clear. Okay, let's look at them both at the same time. Switch off there as well and see what we're going to be expecting. We are expecting a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, a pullback on oil will mean this one pushes up a little bit here. Now, oil pushing up higher, then this one comes down with this one. Okay, so when oil is done with that move and we start getting the pullback, we should get this one now going for the last move here, which is this one. And then from there, we're going to expect a big drop. From oil, then we're going to expect the move to the upside. So that is the correlation. Unfortunately, let's see if we can get it on full screen here. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again on full screen so it can be clear, so you can see what we're looking at. Now, oil is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a correction there, and now we're looking for a new 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Let's do it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I expecting here? With this pullback here, you're expecting this to push a little bit higher because the correlation here is inverse. All right, a pullback here and then a push to the upside. This will be the push to the bottom. When that is done, it makes that pullback. This one will be making the last move to the upside. And when that last move to the upside is done, you'll expect this to drop. You'll expect this to push higher. That is the correlation that you're expecting. The structures are different, but the correlation is still there. So they can be correlated while making different structures. All right, so let's carry on with the rest of the pairs. I should actually go to the pound pairs when I'm done with the US dollar pairs. Then we'll look at the rest. Let's get off the full screen here and go back to one chart. Right, so let's carry on with the US dollar pairs. US dollar CAD we've looked at, US dollar chief. US dollar chief is a little bit tricky because you're expecting euro down and it is actually correcting here. If we're expecting euro down, this one should be pushing a little bit higher. So that means this will be the structure that will push it higher. But now the tricky part is this is actually that this one is actually making a corrective structure, a very clear corrective structure for downside. Okay, so keep an eye on this one. If it breaks to the bottom, then we'll readjust the euro analysis as well. Remember, you've got two alternatives on the euro. This one is making a corrective structure. So if this starts dropping, the euro is going to make the first alternative. Okay, so watch this now. All right, that is a euro chief. Pound US dollar. I actually want to skip pound and do it with the rest of the pound pairs, but I'll just do it now. Pound US dollar. There is as I said, the pound pairs. I actually wanted to do it at the same time, but let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Right. So last week we said there's an almost guaranteed trade from here into the blue box. It has not gone into the blue box. The structure has not changed. Only thing that has happened is this here. Just remember the fib line. Somebody asked on the group, why don't I use the Fibonacci line? You cannot use Elliott Wave without Fibonacci levels. So all we do is Fibonacci levels. We never look at support or resistances. We only look at the Fibonacci levels. We actually have in the course a day that is dedicated to only Fibonacci theory and the use of the tools correctly. Right, so let's have a look at this now. I'll just mark these fib levels with annotation tool. This one here, these are fib levels because when I switch it off, it's going to disappear. Okay, now what are you looking for as a trade for the next week? You are looking for this to break above this, go and retest there and drop. That's what you're looking for. Now that is almost guaranteed that we're going to get into this blue box area. You've got a 3-wave correction here. Okay, not just that. So your structure is actually this one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're looking for this one to push to the upside. Now you've got a running flat here. Now you're looking for this to push higher. You already have, let's show this in yellow, 1, 2, 3. Now all you have to do is wait for a corrective structure in the 1-hour degree that will take you into the blue box, and then you'll expect a reversal or reaction from there. That is what is happening with the pound pair. So you're still looking for upside. So this is what you will do here. A break above this flag. Remember, a flag is a corrective structure. We're just showing it in a higher degree, so you don't really see its internal structure, but it is a corrective structure. That's what you're going to be looking at on pound US dollar. A move to the upside. Right, let's look at Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar. Now this should follow the euro. You have got 1, 2, 3 up here, and you're getting this one as a pulsing move to the downside, corrective structure. You're looking for this to go and retest the low. This will support the second alternative on the euro for downside. Correction here on the Audi US dollar and the correction on euro US dollar. We're going to retest the low there. New Zealand. Now New Zealand is very interesting. Remember I said I'm tracking this. I've made this focused on these lines. If you're watching these videos regularly, you'll remember I've forecasted this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines ahead, 6 waves ahead. What has happened so far? We've got this piece to the downside since I've done that. We've got this piece to the upside, which is this move now. Now what are we expecting? You can see we're expecting this move to the downside now, which has already started, which is this one. Okay, are we going to get this now to go and retest the low here? Okay, so far 1, 2, and the third move has started to form as we forecasted. So this is the advantage of having wave theory. You can see the only difference here is the time cycle. Okay, so I'm not forecasting the time here as to when this will happen, but I'm showing you that it will happen, but not necessarily the time, because when we get to a reversal area, you got confirmation. For now, you're getting a corrective structure here. Expect this one to come down here and retest this low here. If Audi and the Euro start correcting, this is the move that you're going to be expecting. This one now, the third move. It will be interesting if all these 6 waves are followed. Okay, so let's just show why are we looking at those moves. You can just keep on clicking on the previous videos to see why I forecasted it like this. So the first one here is this structure. And the second one here in this degree is this 1, is 2, and then a 3. Okay, then you're expecting this one here in red, 1, 2, and then you'll expect this one in blue, 1, 2, 3. So that hence all these lines in the forecast of this, that's because we are looking at the patterns. We're looking at the patterns. Okay, you can label this if you like. This looks like a, no, the A will be this one, A, B, C. Now internally here, you'll be looking for W, X, Y. Okay, so this may not drop immediately. There's a possibility that it can push a little bit higher before it drops. Okay, but it has already shown that it's coming down, so we're looking for it to come down from there. Right, so if you've got this video, you can just take a snapshot of this and keep following it. It has been playing out for the last 3 weeks so far, so keep an eye and watch it. All right, so that is New Zealand US dollar. Concludes all the US dollar pairs. Now, lastly, US dollar ZAR. We have national load shedding issues that is affecting the South African rand weakness against the US dollar. So expect continuation of the US dollar ZAR weakness. You've made a 3-wave move to the upside. We've made a 3-wave pullback. So you've got a W here, you've got an X here. So you could be going for a Y there. You already have a move to the start, the Y, the new Y. So any corrective structure in the lower degree, expect weakness in the South African rand. That means strength in the US dollar against the South African rand. Okay, so South Africans who like trading the US dollar ZAR, look for this one here and push up higher to around the 1540-60 areas. I think I mentioned these areas quite a while back. Actually, we could be going back to the 1560 area, 1570. Okay, up to that level. You're getting an entry point here. You've got a clear flag. You could be looking for that area on the South African rand. Now, let us look at the pound pairs. Let us look at the pound pairs. I want to start with the pound pairs before the yens because they're looking rather interesting. I've already looked at pound US dollar and I'm expecting that this just needs to break to the upside. Okay, we spoke about this one. That's all you need to look at. Break above this and the retest of the blue box. Now let's look at the rest. In pound New Zealand is the one that I spoke specifically at length last week, looking for a trade to the upside. Now, when this was coming down here, I've actually taken a trade while it was still here. Okay, I took a trade while it was still here. I lost that trade now because it has made 1, 2, 3. Okay, but what we don't know beforehand is the size of the correction that it was going to make. I thought this was going to be the size of the correction, and we're going to rally into the blue box. But it has made a nice and bigger corrective structure. Let's switch this off here. It is more convincing than it was last week. What do you have here? Let's have a look. You have a 1, 2, 3-wave structure. You have a pullback in 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. Now you have this 1. Should this not be the 2? Is this 2 not this one? This one here is this one. So if that is the case, if this is this one pushed higher, what do you expect about this one? This one should also push higher. And this is what we're going to be looking at. And what is the structure going to be? A W, X, Y structure. Okay, now it is almost certain that we're going to go and push to the upside from here, because now this structure here looks like this. Let's clean it up. But it needs to confirm. It needs to confirm first. Do not go and rush in, because I said it's almost guaranteed, because there's nothing that is guaranteed. That's why you hear me saying almost. Okay, you need to take caution of that. So 1, 2, 3 wave structure, that is almost a regular flat. It's actually a regular flat. You already have a move to the upside that has started. Now for this to confirm upside, you need to get a corrective structure here and a push higher. Now if pound Audi breaks above that flag, this should also follow. Okay, so you will be looking for this one to follow pound US dollar. So this can be almost a guarantee. So WXY in the lower degree, WXY in the lower degree, WX, you are missing the Y for the sequence to complete. So this is the Y in red that you're looking for here. So that's why I said pound in New Zealand could be the trade of the week. We have got a strategy, a system that we use to confirm whether this will really go to the upside. Okay, so as far as the system is concerned, there's only one confirmation that is left, and that is the structure. Structure needs to confirm, and then we rally into the blue box, and then we get to the downside. Let's see here if we've constructed the blue box. Yes, we have. And that is our blue box. And that blue box is not closed. It's almost 500 pips away. Actually 600, actually 700 pips from current levels, but you don't have an entry yet. So this one needs to give you an entry point up to that level before we get any drop. So that's how interesting the pound pairs are. Now pound Audi, the same. We want these to just push up higher for the last move. You can see here 1, 2, 3. All of them have done the same structure and a push higher. To get an entry point, you need to look in the 1 hour and a push higher. Okay, that is pound Audi. Pound CAD, same as we're expecting with the US dollar CAD. The CAD pairs are looking upside. So here you've got 1, 2. There's a possibility it can do this. Sorry, let me do this. That's a passing move to the upside. You've got this one in green. 1, 2, possibility for it to do this, that, and that. So let's see how this one plays out. Okay, this one is already broken out of here, so this may actually be ready to go from here without giving us the one more down. So let's have a look here. So you've got this one here. It's already broken up, but this one could just be doing this, which is this, right? 1, 2, 3. Then you have the green, 1, complex P correction, down, and then we go. Same thing. Okay, so keep an eye on this one. Other pound pairs are a lot clearer than this. Pound CAD, pound New Zealand, pound chief. Did we do pound chief? Let's have a look at pound chief. Pound chief has already made a pulsing move to the upside as well. Now let's have a look here. If you're going to get a corrective structure, this one should push higher with pound US dollar. In any case, pound US dollar and the chief are currently at parity. So pound US dollar and pound chief should be exactly the same thing. You can see that there's only difference of 60, 70 pips between US dollar and chief. This is almost the same value currently. So you expect the same thing from the two. Right, that is pound pairs. Those are the pound pairs. Did I miss any pound pairs? I think I've done all of them now. Let's look at the yen pairs. Let's look at the yen pairs. We'll start with pound yen. Pound yen as well, we were looking for this to push higher. We're looking for this to push higher from here last week to go into the blue box. Now, there's a possibility that this can actually be the structure that we were looking at. There's a corrective structure here. This can break here and make this and then push higher. This could be a setup or a trap for trend line traders, support and resistance traders, because you're going to be thinking it is breaking the trend line and now you want to sell. So you need to be careful because this could only be making this corrective structure, which is a continuation pattern for further upside. Even if you've got this current, even if you've got this corrective structure here, this corrective structure can give you a very small move and push higher. So be very careful when you take this trade, that there's a likelihood that it could reverse from there and give you this structure. Okay. Otherwise, this can just be making a one pullback before we push up. Okay. So keep an eye on how this develops around this area. As pound US dollar, sorry, US dollar JPY, similar to US dollar JPY. So US dollar JPY, you could be thinking that this is going all the way down now because it has broken the trend line, which is this here, which is this one here, and you could be looking for the further downside. But this one is actually more convincing. So what you want to look at here is that you've got this one as 1, 2, 3 waves. So what you want here to get involved is to see if you don't get a pulsing move here and a corrective structure. That will tell you the structure that you're looking for. Because as far as the sequence that we were focusing here was concerned, we were looking for this to be a corrective structure and a push higher. Okay, so if we are wrong about this structure, we will see by this giving us a corrective structure at current levels and keeping a move to the downside. So this is the sequence that we had. We wanted a push up. We actually want one more up. We took it here at the bottom. We got a few pips to the upside, but it is now reversed. Let's have a look at this. Let's remove this now. So let's watch this. A corrective structure here means that this is going to invalidate the current sequence that we have to the upside. Okay. Okay, I'm just removing this here now. So keep an eye. So this is not confirmation for further downside yet. Confirmation will be a corrective structure. And if we get a pulsing move from current levels, same as we are expecting from pound yen, we could be getting that structure could still be intact for a move to 113. Looking at the rest, euro looks to be going down as well. You can see that all the yen pairs are making similar corrective structures. Let's switch off here. Similar corrective structures that cannot be confirmed. You've got 1, 2, 3 towards the end of all of them. This one is even correcting here in the lower degree. Is this the reversal or is this just this corrective structure that shows continuation? Because here you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. You've got an A, B, C structure. A, B, C. So that whole structure, it becomes a W structure. A W structure is this one, W, X. Could this be the Y? Okay, but you need to confirm the reversal here around these levels. Breaking this layer could come down for one more and then you push higher. So let's see how this plays out on the euro. Chief will be similar as well. You can see Chief is still a little bit far. So Chief also continuing there. Can you see that all the yen pairs have got a similar structure? Are they going to continue to the downside? We're going to only make a call when you get down to that level. Okay. Here you also have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 back. You expect another 1, 2, 3 up. Okay. If this does not make another X here, and another 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, making this a WXY structure that will push higher. So you don't know if it's going to be a double or a single. Okay, so let's see first how this plays out when it gets to this level. Should do this, making this 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Not clear, not set up as yet. Audi, as you can see, is the same. So Audi has made a 5-wave structure to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is now making this complex B correction here. Now this is how the structure looks here. We've got a pulsing move. Let's show the other one in green. The B structure is like this. See that there's your B there internally, and you're looking for this one to be a C in red. Okay, what are we going to expect from there? You're going to expect a push higher because this is a pulse, correction, and a pulse. Okay. That is Audi and the New Zealand. New Zealand, the same. You've got 1, 2, 3. Is this the 1, 2, 3 that is going to do this and push higher? Or is this now going to just give us a corrective structure and give us a 3-wave pullback? So all of this, you just need to keep an eye and watch how they play out. Not clear at this stage, right? And lastly, on the yen pairs is the CAD JPY. Same as you can see, it is making a 1, 2, 3. It has made a 1 running flat there and a 3. So this whole thing becomes your W. This becomes your X. Is this X going to the blue box and then push higher in 3 waves again? Okay, making this WXY. Let's switch everything off there. So that structure will be very easy and clear. W, X, Y, W, X, Y, which is where we're looking to push to now. So it looks like the yen pairs are going to push a little bit lower before any bounces to the upside. All right. So after this, we'll expect this move, pulse, correction, pulse. Okay. Or it could even be the pulse and this correction is done and then we're looking down. But we'll expect this to go one more up. Either way, we just have to keep an eye on it. Right, so that's all the yen pairs. Now let's look at the euros. Let's look at the euro pairs. We'll start with the euro pound. Let's look at euro pound. Euro pound analysis has not changed from the beginning of the year. We're still looking for this to come down into the blue box. And this is our blue box. We're very close to the blue box. Now, if you look at the pound, we said we need to get one more up. So we're looking for one more down on this one here. We need one more down on euro pound versus the inverse of the pound pair. So if this is going to drop to the blue box, we're expecting the pound pairs to make one push up before a move lower. All right, so this is, let's have a look here. The structure that you're looking at here on euro pound is this one here. Let's show this with a blue color. You've got, after that fifth wave there, a 3-wave down, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. A 3-wave move up, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, this is a 1, 2, 3-wave move up. Now you're looking for this 1, possibly 2, or possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it becomes a 5-wave move there into the box, this is now going to be an ABC structure. But it cannot be, actually this cannot be an ABC structure because this is not retracing close enough to 5. So it cannot be a flat correction. So only expect this to be this, a 3-wave move, so a WXY. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, no. 1, 2, 3, that is your X. Now 1, 2, 3. Now the X here, in this case, looking like this, running flat. Now you've got clear 3 waves there, you've got clear 3 waves there, so this can be a WXY, and in the higher degree, this looks like a zigzag, but a zigzag with 3, 3, 3 structure. Okay, so that's something that we discussed as well, the difference between an ABC zigzag and a WXY zigzag. What are you looking for? Let's go to the lower degree, 4 hours. 4 hours, you're looking for this to drop into the blue box. So what you'll be looking at here is possibly corrective structure and into the blue box. So let's see how that plays out. Right, that's euro pound. Now let's look at the rest of the euro pairs, euro Audi. Euro Audi. Right, now if you look at the euro Audi, you've got a pulsing move to the downside after that move. You've got a 3-wave move up, 1, 2, 3. You've got this 1, 2, 3 wave down, 1, 2, 3 waves down. Could you be getting another three-wave move to the upside like this one? Or this could be done. So let's see if we're going to get this. I understand that euro, US dollar, we're looking for it to go down. So this will confirm the structure, and we'll have to calculate the correlation coefficient between these two for the current period. You already have the pulsing move to the upside. That's telling you that this could be a move to the upside. Okay, let's have a look at this one closely. You see here, you already have a move to the upside that is showing you that this could be already a move to the upside. You got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, and now you're looking for this one to make a move to the upside. That's Euro Audi, Euro New Zealand. Now Euro New Zealand, Euro New Zealand, we've made a move down. We've made a 1, 2, 3 move pullback. One, no, like that. Let's change this. We've made a move down here. We've made a 1, 2, 3 from there. Okay, so now let's see what this structure is going to play out as. We've got 1, 2, 3. So this structure could still push a little bit lower, at least to retest this level and give us a structure like this. Possibly this could be the structure. So let's see. Not clear Euro New Zealand at all. Also because you're now expecting Euro Audi up, so Euro New Zealand should follow Euro Audi. So in terms of the structure, it's not showing us upside here. It's showing us a further downside, even if it's just to come and retest this previous low here. So let's see how this one plays out first. Not trade there, not clear structure. So leave that one for now. What we know about this one is that it's just making what we like to call a V pattern, okay? And then we'll look for it to push up higher. Watch for divergence while that is happening. Watch for this to start diverting while that is happening to the upside like that. Okay, so this could come and make a low here and a push higher. If this makes a new lower high, then that will be the structure that we're looking at. So it's not clear Euro New Zealand for now. So you rather want to stay away from that one. EuroCAD, let's show you the daily and show you this fractal that I've shown for the last couple of weeks. And the reason why we expect it to push a little bit lower is this. It has made a pullback and a 3. Now we've got this big structure in this corrective structure, 1, 2, 3 in the middle there. What are we expecting? We're expecting that this does exactly the same. 1, I showed you this structure before it happened, and then we'll expect this one to come to the downside. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. So this is the fractal I was talking about, a pullback here, WXY structure. Okay, now let's look closely here to see if we're going to get that confirmation for downside as we're expecting there for our. For now, it looks like we're going to get, okay, we've got a 3-wave pullback, okay, but it's not confirming that we are going to go all the way down. What we have here now is that we're going to have 1, 2, 3 first. So we could get another 3-wave move to the upside first because of that corrective structure before we drop. Okay, so let's see if we're going to drop with the rest of the Euro pairs this week and then push up higher. That's EuroCAD, Euro Chief. Now Euro Chief has made this 3-wave move initially. Okay, we made a regular flat here first off. We made a regular flat here. My mouse is going skew now. We made a regular flat. Even though this one did not go all the way up there, as far as the regular flat guidelines is concerned, this is confirmed. Right, so now we've made this move to the downside, 1 correction and a move to the downside. So let's see what we're going to get here. Are we going to get this to come and retest the previous low here with the euro, with the euro US dollar? Remember euro. Okay, we've got euro US dollar. You've got euro. If these two pairs currently are doing exactly the same thing, they've got the exact same value at this stage. Remember, I showed you on US dollar chief that we've got a corrective structure here. So you could be getting to come and retest this level here. So let's see what you're going to get here. You're going to have We're gonna have a corrective structure here. That should at least take us back here. So if that is the case, and this is our regular flat, this could be making another X here. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll expect to get another 3-wave move up. This becomes now a W, 1, 2, 3, X, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Y. So also this you need to stay away from. It was already played out. You don't want to get involved here unless it gives you a deeper pullback. For now, you can stay away from Euro Chief. All right, that is all the Euro pairs. We can now look at, see if there's anything on the chat box that I've missed. Okay, somebody was talking about Solar and Euro Pound. Euro Pound we've already done. Now let's look at the rest of these cross pairs. Let's look at New Zealand CAD first. So New Zealand CAD has made a passing move to the upside. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're making a corrective structure. 1, 2. Could this test there and come back down, making this an A, B, C structure before we go up. Okay. This is the structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. Now we're making this 1, 2, 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3 waves up. Are we going to retest here and look to come down here before we go, or is this all the correction? Okay, so that will be determined by getting the structure here. Whether we get a corrective structure here that will push up higher, that means this is all the correction. If we don't get that corrective structure there, that means this will get us an impulsive move on retesting the top here and come back for one more, making this a 1, 2, 3 wave structure before we push higher. New Zealand Chief. So New Zealand Chief, expect this to push a little bit higher to come and retest this level. Break out of this and push higher. Audi Chief has already made a 1, 2, 3, maybe a little bit of a push to the downside and a move to the upside like that. And making this 1, 2, 3 wave structure. Okay, so watch this one here. Watch this one here at this level. This one there's a possibility for it to come down to this level and then push higher, making this 1, 2, 3, and then push higher. All right, so that is Audi Chief, CAD Chief. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be the end of this move to the downside, and we start looking to push higher, but you need to wait for confirmation of reversal. Okay, this 1, 2 could be also 1, 2, 3 here, but wait for confirmation of reversal. We also have the 50% of the original swing as well. So at some point here, we must start getting a corrective structure. Let's get Chief. And I think that's all the pairs that I wanted to discuss with you this week. Right, guys, have a great week. Good luck trading. Keep watching this pairs. Remember, you need to wait for those confirmations. Don't just go and rush in. Please like and subscribe to the video so next time you get a notification when I post the video. Thank you very much, everybody. Harry, please do the same with the timestamps. I'll really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, Audi New Zealand. Thank you very much. We missed Audi New Zealand. Let's look at Audi New Zealand as well. So Audi New Zealand, I'm going to go right just to the end, towards the end. For a detailed analysis on Audi New Zealand, there's an interesting trade playing out here. Watch the previous video. So Audi New Zealand, we've got a pulsing move that started there. From there, we have been correcting in this fashion, in this 3 wave. So a touch of this here on Audi New Zealand, if it keeps scrolling here, we'll expect a pulsing move to retest the top here, but we still want it to go to parity here at around 1. Okay, we still want it to go to parity before we get a big move to the upside. So for now, watch the structure coming down here. A break above this structure, you're going to get a passing move to the upside, but that is not the move that we're looking for. Okay, even though that will be an interesting move to play out, it will be a similar move to this one. a pulse, correction, and then we look for this to test here and retest the top, one down, and then we go. Okay, so that is out in New Zealand. Again, for the second time, cheers, guys. Have a great week. Please subscribe and like the videos. Cheers, guys. Good luck. Bye-bye.